Welcome back to the Hollywood Redux Podcast. On today's episode, we are discussing Underworld, Blood Wars.
Surprisingly, not a lot of blood in this war.
Yeah.
Hey, welcome back to the Hollywood Redux Podcast. On today's episode, we are talking about Underworld Blood Wars. I'm your host, Matt.
And I'm Michael, and we are coming at you from HollywoodRedux.com.
That's right. Check out all of our stuff over there. But today we're talking about Underworld Blood Wars, and we're going to spoil the hell out of this movie.
That's right.
So, if you have never seen one of our reviews, please go see the movie first, because you're going to get spoiled, and you're going to be upset. Unless you're one of those weirdos that likes that, then hey, welcome back to the show.
Victor is dead.
Victor's very dead. Victor,
We've seen it in every movie, I believe. That one cost so much.
Yeah, that one shot.
Use it every single movie.
The slow-mo giant spider vampire in the recap.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. It was a great recap, too.
Yeah.
I felt like I was reminded of everything that had occurred before.
It did start with a great recap.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It really covered their bases.
Yeah, you know, I that's what we were talking about, because neither of us had seen the previous sequel, Guilty.
Unfortunately, because this was a good movie.
Yeah, you know, I mean, but they didn't even cover any of it in the recap, really, so I'm guessing they didn't really care too much for it either, so that's why they did this one. But, I mean, Underworld Blood Wars, kind of better than I expected it was going to be.
Yeah, I agree. I wasn't originally going to see it like I did with the last one, and you wanted to go see it. I said, okay, let's go see it.
I was like, hey, it's a matinee, whatever. Let's go see it. Let's go see how it is.
And I actually enjoyed it. It was a good story. Again, it reminded me of the first couple of the series.
Yeah. Yeah, it was, it was kind of a good third movie to the first two.
Yeah.
I mean, it really did reference the movies, well enough. And it wasn't, hammering you over the head to, remember stuff. Because they kind of just brought it up in conversation like any standalone movie would. It totally works as a standalone movie, which is kind of cool because... I feel like most of these, even though they have the same kind of underlying story of the Lycans versus the vampires.
Yeah,
the war. There's always a war happening, so it's really... But this is just another chapter in that war, I guess. But it's they seem to, be okay with hooking up with each other now, so, what's the deal, man? Let love win. Lycans and vampires. Yeah. You don't need to keep fighting each other to death.
No blood wars.
Although, when the werewolves die in these movies... It's meh. But when the vampires die in this movie, it's so awesome.
Epic. Disintegrate into nothing to ash.
For mostly visual effects, I love that. It's so good. Before that, I really liked John Carpenter's Vampires. Was my favorite go-to reference for cool vampires burning in the sun, because they just literally burst into flames. Oh. And it had to hurt whoever was doing the stunts, and it was real. It was all practical.
Oh my gosh!
I really love that. But these movies tend to kill vampires in that cool, because they get hit with the UV bullets.
Yeah.
So then it's flames and ash and blue light and shit. And it's all really cool. Because they're all really sexy, so they have to kill them.
So sexy.
Yeah, every vampire. It's a rule to be a vampire in these movies.
Sexy.
You have to be sexy or a creepy kid. A creepy albino kid.
But you all wear leather.
Everybody has to wear leather. Unless you're one of those Games of Thrones vampires that's up in Norway, then you get to wear all white.
Yeah. Fur.
Yeah.
Because it's cold.
Because it's chilly, even though it doesn't matter for vampires.
Comment below.
Yeah.
Definitely let us know what's going on there.
Boo-doo-doo.
But the Nordic vampires were really cool.
They were really cool.
They had this special ritual that kept them in touch with other realms.
Yeah, it was kind of like they mummified themselves. They cocooned themselves in this water.
Yeah.
And then they were able to get in touch with a spirit realm, so they never truly die.
Yeah.
Even though they never truly die until I guess they are murdered.
Comment below.
Comment below.
But also, they all have white hair.
They do.
I would call them the albino of the vampires because they are a very small number, and they have the white hair.
What a kick-ass way to get to that castle, though. What a way to set that up. That was a really cool sequence.
The fights were amazing in this movie.
Yeah, well, they usually are.
They always are.
I mean, but there was a few things missing. It wasn't a Len Wiseman directed Underworld movie. And I don't know if the last one was, but the first two were. And This one was directed by Anna Foerster, and I think she did a great job. I think this was her first feature film directing. I know that she was a director of photography for a lot of like huge epic films like 10,000 BC and 2012 and shit like that. So like she knows epic and big scale and things like that, but I think this is her first directorial feature. And I think she did a great job. Fantastic direction. It felt like an Underworld movie. The only thing that was kind of missing was I half expected, even though it's probably pretty cheesy nowadays, which is probably why they didn't do it, but I half expected a lot more bullet time. Yeah. Like in this movie, because that was kind of like a staple of the franchise.
You get it whenever you see Victor get killed.
Yeah, you do. Every time there's a flashback, or somebody touches something Victor touched,
or they get some blood information.
Yeah, I do like how that works, because then it's like, okay, it's a cool
convenient.
interrogation.
Yeah.
I want to see a vampire be a detective. Ooh. Like that'd be dope as hell. I got these ideas all day. Vampire detectives. Pretty sure that's been done. And if it hasn't, cha-ching. Copywritten already. So
by the time this has been released.
Or everything right now has just been censored over our mouths, and there's just been a beep. And so welcome back, and we're going to finish our review now. But no, I mean, it was pretty cool. I thought nobody was over the top. Like you expect, these movies, I think a lot of people discredit them because they're monster movies. But like, for me, Universal's been trying to reboot the classic monster movie for a long time, and they keep seeming to fall flat. And unfortunately, the new Tom Cruise movie doesn't look reassuring. Looks like just a CGI demolition derby.
Make sure to check out our review of it later this year.
Yeah, we'll definitely be checking that one out. But like, I feel the Underworld movies still keep the acting strong in a monster movie the way that the classic monster movies used to feel. And they still do it in this movie. People take it very serious. There's like enough history written down about these movies now, and in their own like, canon, that they really stick to it. And it seems like the actors, I mean, they get really seasoned actors to come in there and sit down and play these parts, and they play the shit out of these roles.
Kate Beckinsale is still doing it.
Still kicking ass.
Like even with the white dipped hair, She was like
that was cool.
Nordic.
She did kind of show up with highlights at the end, and you knew she was fucking like enlightened.
Yeah, it was really cool. Dope.
Puns.
She like flew around. Yeah,
she did fly around. She was like a ghost vampire now all of a sudden. It was pretty cool, man.
Pretty cool. I want to see more about that.
I have no idea if that's the last movie they're going to do, or if they're
going
to do more.
We have to find out what's going to happen with the daughter.
We do need to know what's going to happen with the daughter and the blood.
Still happening.
Yeah. I mean, Marvis didn't win.
That's right. Marvis is dead. And Samara, she was horrible vampire. She was so fake. She was so fake.
She was the only one that was kind of the only actor that was kind of chewing on the scenery a little bit. She did a great job. I mean, everybody, like I said, they're pretty great. But her role, I don't know if it was just a quirk of the character or what, but it just kind of seemed like she was a little over the top. A little too like, like in front of all the people she's trying to deceive, like, oh, well, you are right. Like, you clearly are in on this. Like, that's bullshit.
Those elder vampires are something else, man. They all have this like quirky attitude about them.
And they all like go to the same groomer as like Sting. Like, they just like walked out of Sting's wardrobe and onto set and like, we're here.
Yeah, it is so. It's canon.
Yeah. But man, the acting though is pretty top notch, and they're able to keep it solid, and they're able to keep it, even though it's like CG werewolves, and a lot of the time like a lot of the action's fake, they still ground it in reality enough, and they do a good job with the acting to keep it serious enough to make it like, very entertaining, and it keeps the stakes there.
Oh yeah, I was worried for Selene the whole time.
Yeah, well,
they're always chasing her, man.
And even though she's gonna come back or whatever, like when she gets killed midway through the movie, they did a good job of keeping the story interesting enough to hold my attention. Like with David and going back and taking over the his coven and stuff like that. Like that was badass with the sword. Major battle at the end, which was dope as hell.
Alexandria left all that blood for all the elders to try out and do their detective work and see. Yes,
very convenient.
Yes, very.
But
convenient.
It worked. Yeah. And then Selene shows up at the end as a ghost and kicks ass. And you got some daywalkers walking around kicking ass. That was pretty cool. Yeah, when David kind of stepped up, that was pretty dope. That was pretty awesome.
You know who else stepped up? Varga. Varga was just a little fuckboy.
You know, yeah, Varga was the fuckboy, and pardon our language, but no, that's what he was. He was just Samira's, you know, woo-hoo. And he got shit on the entire movie, and that's the only thing that I felt like could have been done more, because at the end he has that cool line where he's like, and gag her too, when he's taking her to the cell, and everybody's like, yeah, but it could have been even more powerful if like she was really terrible to him, and I just don't feel like
maybe
she was.
We got some deleted scenes coming on the Blu-ray.
Yeah, and then one last little thing I want to say before we wrap it up. Samira, when she drinks the blood, first of all, she had all that blood, and she only needed like a gulp of it because she then threw the giant like glass down. I needed yeah, and then, but the thing is, where do you think these vampires get these giant like chalices from? Do you think they just go to like an antique store? Do you think they send one of the lesser vampires out to get it? I've always wondered that, because like they have these it's always when it's like the big sacrifice thing or whatever. It's a giant glass thing. Do they make it, you think?
I'm sure that those are the antiques that would normally wind up at an antique store.
That's all I thought about the whole time that scene was happening. I was like, where'd she get that? Like, did she just go out at like 3 a.m. and go antique shopping with other vampires? Like, what the fuck?
I don't know, man.
I don't know. That's really stupid.
Comment below.
Yeah, let us know what you thought of.
No.
Terrible. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed that review. Please let us know what you think of the review in the comments below, and always give us a thumbs up if you enjoyed the review. Also, for the Hollywood Redux Podcast, I'm Matt. You can follow me at Splashdown1 on all social media.
And I am Michael, and you can find me at What the Hess.
Be sure to check out HollywoodRedux.com for more, and we'll see you next week. Bye-bye.
Oh, hey. I noticed you there. If you like that video, you might want to check out some more. Go ahead and click right here. If you liked it so much you want to subscribe to us, go ahead and click that bubble over there. If you like some cool t-shirts, click to our website. And if you want to follow us on social media,